Hey guys, it's me, Stina. So I just wanted to make a quick video, and I just finished my last IV dose after a 2-week course of IV antibiotics. So I wanted to show you real quick how I flush and also how I deaccess my port. Hey guys, so as you can see, I have my port placed in my upper right chest. And the needle that I'm using here is actually a Huber needle, and it's a Huber safety needle. And you can see it sticks out pretty substantially. And I don't know how well you can see this, but right here, this blue thing is a bio patch, and that is supposed to go under the needle to prevent infection at the site. And unfortunately, because this needle is so bulky, I use a 3/4 inch 20 gauge Huber needle, so I actually probably should be using a 1-inch needle, and then if I did that, this would fit underneath there much easily. But this sticks out pretty considerably. You can see that's not, I used to use a butterfly needle that would lay flat against my skin, and it was much easier. It's often difficult to find things to wear that disguise this. Generally, I end up wearing baggy clothes when I go out, especially a baggy t-shirt. This is a great thing to wear, just a spaghetti strap, or you could wear a halter top as far as like when you need to access your IV, or when your nurse comes to, I'm talking specifically for girls of course, or when your nurse comes to access your port. It's much easier to maintain your dignity, yet at the same time have access to your port. So first, what I'm going to do now is my IV is finished, and I'm going to flush with 20 cc's of saline and 5 units of 100-unit heparin. Normally, I would just use 10 cc's of saline and 5 cc's of 10-unit heparin, but because this is my last flush before I take my needle out, I really want to make sure that it's good and it doesn't get clotted. My line doesn't get clotted until I need to use my port next. So the first thing I would suggest is to, if you have long hair, pull your hair back so that it doesn't get in the way. After you pull your hair back, you need to wash your hands. Now we have to wash our hands. Okay, when you wash your hands, generally when you're doing your IV, especially deaccessing it or accessing it, you don't want to just use ordinary soap. This is actually Hibiclens. I wash my hands with this before every time that I do my IV. And the good thing about this is that it is an antiseptic and an antimicrobial soap, and normally that's not good, but when you're doing something like an IV, you really can't mess around. So this soap is pretty liquid. It's not thick like a regular soap. It's like the consistency of water. And don't forget to use proper hand washing techniques. When that's done, make sure you use your arm to turn off the faucet so that you don't get your hands dirty. And use something like a paper towel to wash to dry your hands so that you don't get any germs on your hands. Okay, first things first, you got to make sure that you're clamped here at the end of the IV and clamped here. Okay. You unscrew, well, first of all, before you do that, open your saline, open it here near the bottom of the syringe, and try not to touch this part of the syringe. And I just set it down so that after I clean the end of my IV that I am easily able to pick these up. Okay, first things first, unscrew the end of the IV and clean this. Okay, I then unscrew the top of the saline, prime it to make sure that there's no air, screw it on, unclamp, and push it in. Before I do the heparin, I'm going to once again clean this. You really should be cleaning it each and every time you unscrew something. Okay, now the line is flushed. Okay, so the next step to this process is to take off the tegaderm. I use my vanity mirror here because I need to be really close up and watch what I'm doing. You need to be careful not to, pull pressure on the needle. It would be real tough to pull this needle out just by pulling on the tape. If you had a PICC line or just some other type of peripheral IV, yes, you would probably be able to pull it out by pulling off the tape. I've never pulled out the port needle by pulling off the tape, but it will probably hurt. I know for me it hurts to be pulling really hard on the needle with the tape, and this tape is incredibly, incredibly sticky. Okay, so I'm going to start that now. Taking off this tape is somewhat painful. It is sort of tricky getting this bio patch off. Okay, I was able to get that out. That's that. It's trash. Okay, what I'm going to do is hold the bottom of the needle and pull upwards. To get this residue off. Okay, the tape is off the needle right now. Okay, done. So this is what the tape looks like. It's incredibly sticky. There's probably a lot of sweat and grossness, and there's tons of residue all over my skin. It's very sticky to the touch. Okay. Normally with a non-safety needle, there's not this big circle piece right here. Okay? So what you would do would be you would put your fingers under the needle onto your port, apply pressure to your port, and pull out. This is slightly more difficult, and it's taken me a little while to master this. Okay, so what I do with this, I turn this slightly so that I can fit my fingers on it. Okay? You apply pressure. You don't have to push hard. Just make sure that you have enough pressure on the port. You hold on to this and pull. Okay, it's out. So this is what it looks like. This comes forward and it locks. Oh shit, it didn't lock. This is why I hate safety needles, because they're really not safety needles. This is what the Huber needle looks like. So when it's locked, it's not supposed to go through there. So this actually goes inside of a sharps container. So that's that. And you can also use adhesive remover to remove the adhesive that's here. So, alright guys, hope you enjoyed my video.